Hello and welcome from Budapest. This is Hungary Reports from Public Media M1, bringing you the latest news from Hungary and the Carpathian Basin in English. I'm Matt Batsürci. Thanks for joining us. The government-run Hungary Helps program is embarking on new missions. In Iraq, it's helping people who fled the so-called Islamic State to return home. And in Kherson, in Ukraine, it's pitching in to help set up a crisis center for families affected by the fighting in the east of the country.
We suffered a lot. We walked in the desert for 4 days, but only during the night to avoid getting shot. A Yazidi woman remembers how she escaped from the jihadist with her children. 5 years ago, members of the so-called Islamic State terrorist organization killed thousands of people in a few days. Those who managed to flee became homeless and currently live in refugee camps. The Hungarian government has supported the Yazidi religious minority in staying in their homeland and supported the return of refugees with almost 600,000 euros in the framework of the Hungary Helps program. The Yazidis will use a large share of the amount under the management of the Hungarian Interchurch Aid. Among others, an orphanage as well as housing complexes will be built, and the refugee camp in the Iraqi town of Kanke will be renovated with this financial support. State Secretary Tristan Azbey emphasized that help should be delivered there directly to the communities where they need it. He said that they can't expect help from anyone else other than the Hungarian government and the Hungary Helps program. Besides Iraqi Yazidis, the government is providing help to the victims of the Ukrainian civil war. The Hungary Helps agency is supporting the creation of a family crisis center in the town of Kherson together with the Hungarian Interchurch Aid. Since 2017, the Hungary Helps program has launched missions in countries where people are persecuted because of their religion. In fact, the Hungarian government has helped 50,000 people stay in their homeland or return home.
Employment continued to grow in Hungary. Between May and July, more than 4.5 million people worked, a new employment record for the country since the fall of communism 30 years ago. More than 70% of people aged 15 to 64 have work, and more are also active in the private sector.
Mechanics examine how a special lab machine operates in this factory in Budapest. The instrument is used to quickly and precisely diagnose several illnesses. It was developed here and is used in almost every country around the world. By constantly innovating, developing new instruments, not only do we need more and more developers, but when we reach the stage of entering the market, we need new factory lines to manufacture our product and new people to operate them, the development director of the company said. The company strives to pay its employees more than its competitors. This way, they've managed to nearly double their workforce within a few years. And they aren't the only ones. The latest data shows again that the number of people working is continuously increasing in Hungary. Since the regime change, there haven't ever been this many people working in Hungary, the Minister of Finance said, adding that Hungary's employment rate increase in the past year was one of the most rapid in the European Union. Mihály Varga also said that while the employment rate is rising, employers are also having a hard time finding well-trained employees. We've been taking steps in two directions. First, we want to help the workforce better conform to the economy's demands by transforming the vocational and higher educational system. We've seen promising signs, since anyone who has a craft today in Hungary is able to find a job. Second, lest we forget, we cannot allow any investment projects to be delayed because of a shortage of workers. So in professions that don't have enough people on the job market, we will make the possibility of temporarily employing foreign workers available, the minister said. According to assessments, there are currently still at least 500,000 unemployed people in Hungary. The government wants to involve them in the economy as well. So they've announced that they're expanding the employment promoting program to additional counties, where basically unemployment offices connect job seekers with companies that are hiring.
Agricultural support this year could amount to as much as €1.5 billion. That, according to the Minister of State for Agriculture. Zsolt Feldman said that the sector has been growing nonstop for 8 years straight. Last year, for example, farmers invested 40% more than they did back in 2010. The state secretary further pointed out that it is also thanks to an intensive increase in the marketplace for getting credit for agriculture the past few years. Feldman added that in the first half of this year, it had reached reached more than €2,058,000,000.
It is gratifying that a large share of this credit growth, approximately €1 billion, is connected to investments. It is gratifying that the rate of long-term loans with long-term maturing dates has increased in recent years, being around €380 million today.
The airport at Hungary's biggest city in the east, Debrecen, will continue to undergo improvements. That's what the city's mayor said at a ceremony where the Hungarian-owned budget airline Wizz Air welcomed its 1.5 millionth traveler. The lucky winner was a woman from the city who had been vacationing with her husband in Cyprus. The airline has been in service in Debrecen the past 7 years, offering 13 foreign destinations, and where this year it estimates 600,000 bookings. Mayor Laszlo Papp said that improving the airport also improves the region.
Together with the government, we are preparing for the comprehensive improvement of the airport at Debrecen as the leading airport in the region, which will enable significant capacity building in the upcoming period. As in the last 7 years, between 2012 and 2019, the forthcoming years will also address the development of the Debrecen airport, not only in connection with the number of passengers, but also regarding infrastructure and services.
The population of the Earth is dramatically increasing, even though the amount of water available hasn't changed since the planet evolved. That's what organizers will call to attention at the 3rd Budapest Water Summit that goes from October 15th to 17th. Hungarian President János Áder is the patron of the event. Problems such as crises involving water shortages, water surpluses, and water pollution will also be discussed. Organizers also point out that water crises affect everyone. Fish is good for you, but apparently Hungarians aren't taking the bait. So there's a new movement out there, roughly translated as Get Hooked, which wants to promote more fish consumption. So let's see if they can reel you in.
Sándor Tuka is doing his shopping for the week in Békéscsaba. He says that they don't just eat fish during the holidays, they prepare it year-round. My wife makes it every way, cooked, baked, grilled, fried, and in soups too, he said. And others also eat fish gladly at restaurants in addition to their own cooking. The spokesperson of the Hungarian Aquaculture and Fisheries Interbranch Organization said that consuming fish is an essential part of a healthy lifestyle. Fish provides one of the healthiest proteins. There are no contraindications. Anyone from pregnant women to senior citizens, even people who have recently had operations, can safely consume fish, the spokesperson said. The Agricultural Marketing Center has created an app in order to further promote Hungarian fish. The free app, called Kap rá or Get Hooked, gives us advice on how to choose from different types of fish. The app has fish-themed puzzles, matching pairs games, a fish talent show, and it even teaches about the different types of fish in the trivia section. There are also videos of how to prepare several recipes with fish. I think the most important help for the industry and for domestic fish consumption is if we educate consumers, and this app can reinforce just that, the managing director of the Agricultural Marketing Center said. To promote fish consumption, last year the government decreased taxes on fish for food from 27% to 5% starting January 1st. But even so, Hungarians only eat an average of 7 kilograms of fish a year, which is well under the EU average at 22 kilos.
You're sure to be moved if you check out the exhibition at the Monk Gallery in Szentendre, just north of the capital, Budapest. There you'll see a photo exhibit of many of the works of Hungary's contemporary artists who photograph dance movements, all kinds. The show runs until September 25th. And in just 1 week, the Music Harvest Festival starts in Pécs in the south of the country. The focus is on folk music, which you'll run into at practically every street and square, as well as at the city's Bishop's Palace. It lasts 4 days and features not just performances, but exhibitions, films, and some big surprises, too. And that's all for today, but we'll be back the next night live right after the Hungarian language news at 11 p.m. local time, and also in repeat broadcasts and online. Please stick around now, if time and your inclination permits, for our news shows in German, Russian, and Chinese. Thanks very much for watching, and viszontlátásra.